That game. Cityview and Henry.
And start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. And how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
On the front lines across the globe.
In Rome, South Korea, Ukraine, and Israel. We'll give you an up-close look
At the center of the moments that matter.
What do you want the world to know? What is the mission?
International correspondent Robert Sherman on News Nation. Americans rely on the Hill for politics and policy news more than any other digital politics publication. Inside the Beltway, it's an essential read for lawmakers and influencers. And beyond the Capitol, the Hill's trusted content reaches millions of people like you. So next time you want to share the big story out of D.C., make sure it's from The Hill. TheHill.com is America's most shared political news brand for a reason. Trusted, credible, nonpartisan. Visit TheHill.com today.
Experience the difference.
But I couldn't figure out whose house it was. And then when we got here, the trees were engulfed. I mean, there was just nothing of the house. I mean, just fire blowing out on top of the trees and everywhere. It was like coming out of the house. I mean, you could see fire up above the telephone poles. It was just fast.
They also tell me the woman who lived in the home was a very kind neighbor and friend.
She was a very particular pretty lady, worked in her yard, has two children, and just a good neighbor. I've known her, I'm going to say like up to 40 years.
Arson investigators with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene and have begun their investigation. And authorities say the 92-year-old woman was transported to the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences for an autopsy. The Sheriff's Office says the cause of the fire still remains under...
But I couldn't figure out whose house it was. And then when we got here, the trees were engulfed. I mean, there was just nothing of the house. I mean, just fire blowing out on top of the trees and everywhere. It was like coming out of the house. I mean, you could see fire up above the telephone poles. It was just fast.
They also tell me the woman who lived in the home was a very kind neighbor and friend.
She was a very particular pretty lady, worked in her yard, has two children, and just a good neighbor. I've known her, I'm going to say like up to 40 years.
Arson investigators with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene and have begun their investigation. And authorities say the 92-year-old woman was transported to the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences for an autopsy. The Sheriff's Office says the cause of the fire still remains under investigation, so we'll keep y'all updated as more information becomes available on air and online.
Hopefully they find out something soon. All right, thank you so much, Ashley, for taking us out to the fire tonight. Well, now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling for a look outside. And Mike, we had a calm day, but that's probably going to change going into tomorrow.
Yeah, and some of it's changed. If you watched the earlier newscast, of course, I know no one's shocked to hear that it's changed versus earlier on today. But we're going to talk some more about those changes later on, but we still have rain in the forecast, don't worry. Cloud cover really has built in here as we go into tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy skies will persist overnight tonight. The temperatures are going to stay very mild here through the overnight hours. 74 degrees in Wichita Falls, 75 for DFW, 74 for Austin and Houston, 73 in Midland. We are 10 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday, and it's going to be much warmer overnight tonight, likely only dropping down into the mid-60s here as we get into tomorrow morning. And it'll stay warm again here for tomorrow afternoon, but storm chances do return tomorrow with severe weather still likely. We'll talk about it coming up here in a few minutes, Aaron.
All right, sounds good, Michael. Thanks so much. We'll see you then. Oil prices skyrocketed overnight due to fears over the conflict in Iran. That was being felt here in Texoma, with some prices here in Wichita Falls nearing $3 a gallon. And it's the same for Lawton, as the lower price there is $2.69 a gallon, though those prices remain under the $3 mark. At about 1 a.m. today, crude oil peaked at nearly $116 a barrel. The price has since dropped down to around $85 a barrel, which is still much higher than last month's low of nearly $61 a barrel. Adam Schwager reports on why the price is so volatile and what it means for the Texas economy.
If Texas was a country, it would produce the fourth most oil in the world.
We're very thankful that we have Texas-led energy dominance.
However, with the price of oil in rapid flux,
it creates planning difficulties and it disrupts supply chains.
One of the prime causes for this sharp rise and fall in prices, uncertainty over ships navigating the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly a fifth of all global oil consumption flows through the narrow shipping lane. However, it's remained largely dormant in recent days, as its proximity to Iran has led shippers to take extra caution.
Any oil analyst you've talked to in the last 50 years, that's one of the first things they say, is that the biggest threat to oil supplies is that something happens in the Strait of Hormuz.
The impact is already being felt at the pump, where in Austin,
that price is 49 cents higher than a week ago, and it's 75 cents higher than a month ago at this time.
Slashing energy costs is among...
In an interview with Fox News' Brian Kilmeade on Sunday, President Donald Trump shared his proposed solution, saying, quote, "These ships should go through the Strait of Hormuz and show some guts. There's nothing to be afraid of," close quote. Lawrence Duffy, who has written about these topics for years, says it's not that simple.
You're talking about a lot of investment. I mean, somebody owns that oil. They may not want you taking that chance with their oil.
In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
Texas Oil and Gas Association President Todd Staples also said the Texas oil industry, which produces twice the amount of oil as Iran, has made the United States better positioned than any other country in the world during this conflict. Over in Will Barker County, Vernon ISD trustees officially make Dr. Blaise Boswell the superintendent. Trustees made the decision during a special meeting earlier this evening. Dr. Boswell was named the lone finalist for the position back in February. Boswell has been the interim superintendent over the last few months after Dr. Kermit Ward's departure. Boswell served as the assistant superintendent for the last 3 years and began his 15-year career in education as a teacher and coach with the district. Midwestern State is launching a STEM mentorship program to engage students in the WFISD. STEM Center of Excellence Director Taylor Majewski says the program aims to make it easier for students who want to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics at MSU. The STEM Center is partnering with Cafe Con Leche's Road to College program, which kicks off in the fall. A handful of MSU students will mentor 30 kids from Memorial, Legacy, and Barwise. Majewski says MSU students will visit WFISD students and host them for STEM events. The Camp Center for the Arts is offering a creative option with a spring break art camp and additional classes this month. Organizers say the goal is to give kids a chance to explore their creativity in a hands-on environment with different activities every day. The camp is designed for students in grades 3 through 6, and it runs for 4 days this week. Throughout the week, students will explore several forms of art, including sculpture, painting, and drawing, giving them the chance to experiment with different materials while learning new techniques. The spring break camp runs through Thursday from 9:30 until noon. Registration is $90 with supplies included. You have until Sunday to compete in Season 12 of the Female Songwriter of the Year contest. Director of Texas State Songwriters Association, Cynthia Anderson, is teaming up with the Electra Grand Theater to host the contest. Rising female artists like Kim Hunter, Suzanne's Band, Julie Blue, and many more will take to the stage to share their songwriting journeys. Then they'll perform in front of judges, and that's happening this coming Sunday. There's still a few spots available for any women that want to enter the contest. To find out how to enter, all you have to do is look inside the story over on TexomasHomepage.com. Don't go anywhere. Michael is coming up next. We'll look at his full forecast. And coming up, the latest as the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Purple, less pain, better sleep.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait, reach out.
On the front lines across the globe.
In Rome, South Korea, Ukraine, and Israel. We'll give you an up-close look
at the center of the moments that matter.
What do you want the world to know? What is the mission?
International correspondent Robert Sherman on News Nation.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws alone cannot stop bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school.
Now, from KFDX 3, Texoma's Weather Authority, with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling.
So you said earlier, no stranger to changes this time of year. So we're still getting rain, right?
There's still rain in the forecast, and I want to stress that what I'm about to show is just one forecast model, and it can easily flip back around, which is why we're not going to change the forecast tonight. But hey, let's take a look at the Midland Weather Radio Day here for tomorrow. Don't forget, 4 to 6:30 p.m. I think there's a good chance that I'll be there. But if I'm not there, John will be there along with hopefully some Wichita County storm spotters as well. It's all a little bit up in the air on who's going to be there because of the storm system. But regardless, we're going to have the event tomorrow at Ace Hardware. We hope to see you there at the Ace Hardware in Iowa Park, 4 to 6:30 p.m. $40 for that Midland Weather Radio, and we'll get it programmed for you. And with storms in the forecast, what better time to get it than tomorrow? Take a look outside right now on the Bowie Tower Cam. Current temperature is 74 degrees. We have a south wind averaging 11 miles per hour. Today's high was 86 degrees, so we went down as 20 degrees above our average of 66. And our low this morning was 57 degrees, which was 17 degrees above our average of 40. We're likely only dropping down to around 65 here overnight tonight. And for tomorrow afternoon, we're back up to a high of 84 degrees, 71 and 67 as we go into the middle of this week. Then we're back up into the 80s to finish off this week into the weekend. Next Monday, we drop back down to 57 degrees, but still not too chilly in the morning, though. We'll likely still stay in the mostly mid to high 40s to low 50s throughout the day. I want to stress that because we do have the Wichita Falls Area Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament coming up on Monday, and we still need players at the Wichita Falls Country Club. Please sign up if you're a golfer. Now, we do warm back up into the 70s here for the middle and end of next week, and then eventually back up into the 80s. Satellite and radar across the area shows cloud cover starting to increase here as we go into tonight. Cloud cover is going to persist overnight tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy skies will continue here. Now, as we go into tomorrow, you see 11 a.m. on Tuesday, you see some showers popping up in the region. If you saw the 5 and 6 o'clock news, this forecast model had a bit more thunderstorm activity going on even in the afternoon hours. You'll notice that it doesn't show it anymore. However, a lot of the other forecast models are still showing thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, so this model just took took a little flip here and got rid of it, doesn't mean we won't still have storms tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to leave those in the forecast at this time. We'll see how the trends look as we get into the morning with NOAA. Now, as we go into the evening hours, we still have the thunderstorms rolling in then. And that is when our best chance for severe weather is too. However, I will say also, this forecast model keeps some of the heavier activity down to the south, which would be good for us as far as avoiding the severe weather, but it will limit our rainfall. So as we go throughout the evening hours, it pushes out to the east, and then we end those chances. But I will stress again, this is the only forecast model showing that flip. It's my favorite forecast model, but it's the only one showing the flip, so it might be wrong in this instance. Now, as we push off to the east, we lose those chances, and then we go into Wednesday, we start to clear out the skies. And for tomorrow, we're still going to leave the chance for storms tomorrow afternoon. I still think we'll have some pop-up activity there, and then we'll see more roll in as we go into the evening. Slight risk across the entire area, enhanced risk in the southern counties. The color does not really matter tomorrow. As those storms arrive, specifically in the evening hours, large hail, gusty winds, the main threat. Tornado threat, very low, not zero. We'll have to watch for that too as we go throughout the evening. Then on Wednesday, it pushes off to the east. And as far as rainfall estimates, it's the same model. So once again, I want to stress one forecast model flipped here and lowered our chances. But regardless, even if we do get the higher totals, the highest totals in the area will be in the southeastern portions of Texoma. So for tonight, though, 65 degrees, breezy and humid with a south wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 84 degrees, afternoon and evening storms, south winds gusting up over 25. Here's the 7-day forecast. You got the rain chances there for tomorrow, ending on Wednesday. Then we're back to sunshine and warmer temperatures for the end of this week.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain. So you can vaping today.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't. If they can think it, they can do it.
The Riddell Law Firm. You're watching KFDX 3 News.
Long lines of security checkpoints slowed things down considerably over the weekend as the Homeland Security Department shutdown drags on. This comes as President Trump has said he will not sign any bills, including one to fund the agency, unless Congress passes the SAVE Act, requiring proof of citizenship to vote. Chad Pergram takes a closer look for us.
Screening lines snaking for hours.
We came like 2.5 hours earlier, but I think we should have gotten here perhaps 5 hours.
TSA officers called out sick, crippling airports in Houston and New Orleans. TSA now working a fourth week without a paycheck.
They need to get it fixed. This is not acceptable. Will this be the week the Democrats actually get serious?
Democrats still blocking DHS funding, demanding reforms at ICE.
To think that innocent American citizens are being shot and killed in our streets is unacceptable, unthinkable, unimaginable, but it's a fact.
Republicans say the obstruction exposes the U.S. at a vulnerable time.
The greatest threat to the American people today is terrorism.
President Trump says he won't sign any bills, including DHS funding, unless the Senate passes the SAVE Act. It mandates proof of citizenship to vote. The president says the SAVE Act, quote, supersedes everything else.
There should be no pushback to any of the common sense proposals in the Save America Act.
Democrats could hamstring passage, requiring 60 votes to break a filibuster. But Republicans have a solution.
We got to do the talking filibuster.
That makes Democrats filibuster in person for days or weeks, not from the shadows.
You're talking about 12 full days of Democratic debate, meaning that nothing else is going on the floor.
The Senate could pass the SAVE Act with a simple majority, never needing 60, once Democrats finally run out of gas. However, Thune says the talking filibuster is, quote, way more complicated than people believe. A prolonged debate blocks the Senate from funding DHS or confirming Markwayne Mullin as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Don't go anywhere. Tobin is coming up next with sports.
Only Purple has the GelFlex grid, designed to help you wake with less pain, because the right bed doesn't just improve your...
Before you buy anything, ever.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma.
Roma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
You're watching KFDX 3 News.
Sorry, spaced out there. Got one more story before we hand it over to Open for Sports. So it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. An asteroid NASA used for target practice a few years ago was nudged into a slightly different route around the sun. The findings could help divert a future killer space rock. Madison Scarpino has more for us.
Yeah, I think the Earthlings should sleep better. It was a test to see if NASA could save the Earth, and they passed. In Hollywood movies, soldiers blow up killer asteroids with nuclear weapons, but in the real world, science just showed all it takes is a little nudge. Back in 2021, NASA launched a spacecraft called DART. It met up with an asteroid and used it for target practice. And now the data shows the impact sent the asteroid in a slightly different direction, proving it is possible to save the planet from a real threat.
We can move it and hopefully just save lots of damage.
I fully hope to be surprised by the results of the experiment, although as a planetary defender, I don't want to be too surprised.
NASA is hoping to learn more about the impact later this year, when a European spacecraft is expected to reach the asteroids.
And we're back from space. Tobin's joining us now with a little bit more earthly content.
Yeah.
Sports, playoff basketball.
Yeah, a lot of hustle today. We were on the Diamonds for some softball action, and MJ went to West Texas tonight to get highlights of a state semifinal game. Highlights coming up next in sports.
You read it right. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's and master's, and I became a teacher.
Now, sports with Tobin McDuff from the OSTC Sports Desk, your complete orthopedic team.
For just the second time in program history, the Monday Moguls are in the state semifinals. Back in 1985, the Moguls fell one game short of the championship game, dropping a 2-point decision to Nazareth. Tonight, they meet the Valley Patriots at South Plains College in Leveland. We head there for the action, picking up play in the first quarter of the contest. At the Texan Dome, Carson Willison finding a cutting Luke Bowman up and in for two. The Moguls up by 3 early, but Valley led by 3 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Corbin Taylor, with authority, rises up and flushes down the dunk, puts a jolt into the Patriots crowd and forces a timeout. That was part of Valley's 16-0 run to take a commanding lead. On the other side of the timeout, Jarius Williams finally stops the bleeding, goes to work in the post, gets a tough shot to fall off the glass, but Monday had their work cut out for them, down 15 at the half. Now, we moved to the second half, and it was kind of more of the same. In the third quarter, Moguls trying to get a spark going. Jaden Wren from downtown gets Monday within 12. Then Carson Willison, check it out as he comes off a screen, pops the mid-range jumper, and connects, once again, a 12-point ball game. How about some Kaysen Lee? Goes to the corner, pulls up inside. Nice little shot fake there to beat the defender, gets the 15-footer to go, but Valley had an answer for everything. The Moguls never really threatened in the second half, unable to get the deficit to single digits. Valley gets the victory over Monday, 44-33. The Mogul season comes to a close in the state semifinals.
They made shots, and we did not. I felt like defensively we did what we were supposed to do. They had 44 points. We try to hold teams under 45, and we did that today. We just couldn't get the lid off early enough in this game tonight, and they did.
We've got one team remaining. That's the Henrietta Bearcats. They square off against Paradise, the second-ranked team in the state, tomorrow night at Denton High School. Tip-off is set for 6:30. Paradise advanced to the state title game a year ago. and lost. How about some baseball action? We start things off out in Quanah. Bottom of the first, the Indians down early in this one. Prather Parr swats this one to left field. It skips over the fence. A ground rule double brings 2 runners in. Harold has a 4-2 lead in the ball game. There you see it. Okay, Jaden Gray on the mound for the Hornets. His second strikeout of 6 on the day ends this inning. We move to the bottom of the third. Gray gets another batter to strike out looking. He collected the win, combined with Trip Tamplin for 11 strikeouts on the afternoon. Harold beating Quanah 12-4 your final. Chico outslugged Electra 19-15. Braden Huffstetler scoring 4 times for the Tigers in the loss. Softball action now. Great District 7-3A matchup between Iowa Park and Holiday. Top of the first, Callie Barrett in the circle gets the batter looking for the inning-ending strikeout, one of her 13 on the afternoon. Scoreless game until the bottom of the third. Rowan Pike with a flare to left field. The throw coming home, and check it out, just a little bit late. Corey McCormick scores. Iowa Park takes the early 1-0 lead, top of the 5th inning. Avery Kwolek with a deep shot here for Holiday. Nearly gone, but it dings off the wall. Merritt Morgan scores to tie the ball game up at 1-1. Holiday tacks on another run, and they get the win. The 16th ranked Lady Eagles, new to the state rankings this week, defeat Iowa Park 2-1 the final. Game 2 of a doubleheader between Jacksboro and Vernon. We pick up the play in the top of the third at Rhonda Havens Field. Brooke Reeves with a hard-hit grounder down the left field side. That is an RBI double to score Holly Lehman, who had a nice day. Jacksboro with a 9-2 lead. Bottom of the third inning, some heads-up play here. Riley Bennett, the catcher, quick to pop to Lehman to catch the base runner at second base. We move to the top of the fourth. Bella Nail with a shot to right field. It drops, sends Laney Sams and Star Wesson home. A 2-run double. Jacksboro takes a 12-2 lead. They go on to win by the final of 20-2. They also won game 1 of the doubleheader, 16-0. Holly Lehman knocking in 5 runs in that game. Cityview and Henrietta, another District 7-3A game today. In the top of the first, Sailor Owen ends the inning by way of the K. Gets the swing and miss, one of her 9 strikeouts on the day. Cityview topping Henrietta by the final, though, of 8-7. Also want to let you know another score. Haley Craven knocked in 4 runs as Alney topped Electra 15-1. Graham topping Grayford 11-5. Tiffany Cotter striking out 15. Archer City blanks Santo 12-0. Ashlyn Harvey with 5 runs batted in. And Brock edges Bowie by the final of 2-1. That will do it for our look at sports. We'll see you back here after the break.
But I couldn't figure out whose house it was. And then when we got here, the trees were engulfed. I mean, there was just nothing of the house. I mean, just fire blowing out on top of the trees and everywhere. It was like coming out of the house. I mean, you could see fire up above the telephone poles. It was just fast.
They also tell me the woman who lived in the home was a very kind neighbor and friend.
She was a very particular pretty lady, worked in her yard, has 2 children, and just a good neighbor. I've known her, I'm going to say like probably 40 years.
Arson investigators with the butcher.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time Augusta, the podcast.